The Japanese Empire, also known as the Empire of Japan, was a historical state that existed from 1868 to 1947. It was a constitutional monarchy that was ruled by an emperor who was considered to be a divine figure. The history of the Japanese Empire is a fascinating story of political intrigue, military conquests, and cultural transformation. The origins of the Japanese Empire can be traced back to the late 19th century, when Japan underwent a period of rapid modernization and industrialization. In 1868, a group of samurai warriors overthrew the ruling shogunate and established a new government under Emperor Meiji. This marked the beginning of a new era in Japanese history, known as the Meiji Restoration. Under the Meiji government, Japan embarked on a program of modernization and westernization. The country adopted a new constitution, modeled after the German system, and began to build a modern industrial economy. Japan also expanded its military capabilities, and in 1894-1895, it fought and won a war against China. The victory over China marked Japan's emergence as a major power in East Asia. However, it also set the stage for future conflicts as Japan began to assert its dominance over neighboring countries. In 1904-1905, Japan fought and won a war against Russia, becoming the first non-European country to defeat a major European power in modern times. Despite its military successes, Japan faced growing tensions with the United States and other Western powers. In 1905, Japan signed the Treaty of Portsmouth, which ended the war with Russia, but also led to a deterioration of relations with the United States. In 1910, Japan annexed Korea, which further strained its relations with the West. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 presented Japan with an opportunity to expand its influence in Asia. Japan joined the Allied powers and seized German colonies in the Pacific. However, Japan's aggressive actions during the war also fueled anti-Japanese sentiment in the United States and other Western countries. In the aftermath of World War I, Japan emerged as a major economic power. The country experienced a period of rapid economic growth, fueled by exports and industrialization. However, Japan's economic success was also accompanied by political instability and growing militarism. In the next segment of this video, we will explore the rise of militarism in Japan and the country's involvement in World War I and II. The rise of militarism in Japan during the 1930s marked a turning point in the country's history. The military, which had long played a prominent role in Japanese politics, began to exert greater influence over the government. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, a region of China, and established a puppet state known as Manchukuo. The invasion of Manchuria marked the beginning of Japan's aggressive expansionism in Asia. In 1937, Japan launched a full-scale invasion of China, sparking the Second Sino-Japanese War. The war lasted for 8 years and resulted in the deaths of millions of Chinese civilians and soldiers. Japan's expansionist policies also brought it into conflict with the United States. In 1940, Japan signed the Tripartite Pact with Germany and Italy, forming the Axis powers. The pact was seen as a direct challenge to the United States, which had been providing military and economic aid to China. In 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack destroyed much of the American Pacific Fleet and brought the United States into World War I and II. Japan also launched simultaneous attacks on British and Dutch colonies in Southeast Asia, quickly seizing control of much of the region. Despite early military successes, Japan was ultimately unable to sustain its war effort. The United States, with its vast industrial resources, was able to outproduce and outmaneuver Japan. In 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to Japan's surrender and the end of World War I and II. The aftermath of the war was a period of profound transformation for Japan. The country was occupied by Allied forces, led by the United States, and underwent a process of demilitarization and democratization. Japan adopted a new constitution, which renounced war and established a parliamentary system of government. Despite the challenges of post-war reconstruction, Japan emerged as a major economic power in the second half of the 20th century. The country's rapid economic growth, known as the Japanese miracle, was fueled by exports and technological innovation. Today, Japan is one of the world's leading economies and a major player in global politics. In the next segment of this video, we will explore the cultural and artistic achievements of the Japanese Empire. The cultural and artistic achievements of the Japanese Empire are a testament to the country's rich history and traditions. From literature and poetry to painting and sculpture, Japanese artists have made significant contributions to the world of art. One of the most famous forms of Japanese art is ukiyo-e, a style of woodblock printing that flourished during the Edo period 1603–1868. Ukiyo-e prints depicted scenes from everyday life, such as landscapes, portraits, and kabuki theater performances. The prints were highly influential in the development of Impressionism and Post-Impressionism in Europe. Japanese literature is also renowned for its beauty and depth. The Tale of Genji, written by Murasaki Shikibu in the 11th century, is considered to be one of the world's first novels. The book tells the story of the life and loves of a nobleman named Genji, and is renowned for its vivid descriptions of court life and its exploration of human emotions. Haiku poetry is another important form of Japanese literature. Haiku are short, three-line poems that capture a moment in time and evoke a sense of nature and the changing seasons. The most famous haiku poet is Matsuo Basho, who lived in the 17th century and is known for his simple yet profound verses. Japanese architecture is also renowned for its beauty and elegance. Traditional Japanese buildings are characterized by their use of natural materials, such as wood and paper, and their emphasis on simplicity and harmony with nature. The most famous example of Japanese architecture is the Kinkaku-ji Temple in Kyoto, which is covered in gold leaf and reflects the surrounding landscape in its shimmering surface. In the world of music, Japanese traditional music is known for its haunting melodies and intricate rhythms. The most famous instrument in Japanese music is the shamisen, a three-stringed instrument that is played with a plectrum. Traditional Japanese music is often accompanied by dance, and is an important part of Japanese cultural festivals and ceremonies. In the next segment of this video, we will explore the legacy of the Japanese Empire and its impact on modern Japan. The legacy of the Japanese Empire is a complex and contested issue in modern Japan. While the country has made significant strides in the areas of democracy, human rights, and economic development, it has also struggled to come to terms with its imperial past. One of the most controversial aspects of the Japanese Empire is its record of wartime atrocities. During World War II, Japan committed numerous war crimes, including the forced labor and sexual enslavement of thousands of women from occupied countries. Japan's refusal to fully acknowledge and apologize for these crimes has strained its relations with neighboring countries, particularly South Korea and China. In recent years, there has been a growing movement in Japan to confront the country's imperial past and to promote reconciliation with its neighbors. In 2015, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe issued a statement expressing profound remorse for Japan's actions during World War II, although the statement was criticized by some for not going far enough. Despite these challenges, Japan has emerged as a leader in the areas of technology, innovation, and culture. The country is home to some of the world's most innovative companies, such as Sony, Toyota, and Nintendo. Japan is also renowned for its pop culture, including anime, manga, and video games, which have gained a global following. In recent years, Japan has also taken a leading role in addressing global challenges, such as climate change and the refugee crisis. The country has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions and has provided significant aid to countries affected by conflict and displacement. In conclusion, the history of the Japanese Empire is a complex and multifaceted story that continues to shape modern Japan. While the country has made significant progress in the areas of democracy, human rights, and economic development, it still faces challenges in coming to terms with its imperial past and promoting reconciliation with its neighbors.